One of our favorite guests of the show, a man who brings the frenzy to his show every day, is the host of Pat McAfee Show 2.0, a two-time Pro Bowl punter, first-team All-Pro. You can't say former All-Pro punter, once an All-Pro punter, always an All-Pro punter. Pat McAfee here on the Rich Eisen Show on the NFL Network. How are you, Patrick?
I'm fantastic after that incredible introduction, Mr. Eisen. Thank you so much for that. Also, since we are talking free agent frenzy and the frantics behind it all,
yes,
you could also say I was once franchise tagged in that introduction, but you didn't. No worries. You missed them every once in a while. It's an honor to be here. NFL Network is a great place to be.
I appreciate that.
Especially in this free agent frenzy.
Now, when you were franchise tagged, would you say the franchise tag was placed on you or slapped on you? What'd you say?
It was slapped right in my face. Definitely.
You were not pleased?
What's that?
You were not pleased with the franchise tagging? You didn't want to be franchise tagged as a punter?
No, I was very excited. It was more money than I could have ever imagined in my entire life. All of my contracts with the NFL were, but it was definitely put upon me like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. No, we're not negotiating with you anymore. We'll see if you have another good year. Wham! Right on the face. That's what happened. But I loved it. It was a lot of guaranteed money, made my family very comfortable, and it's just the NFL is the league that never stops giving, just like it's doing today with massive amounts of Brinks trucks being backed up into people's homes all over the country right now.
So are you in the city of Pittsburgh right now, the great city of Pittsburgh, Patrick?
I am. City of Bridges, City of Champions,
so
City of Iron, City Lights, City of Permane Brothers. Here I am, right in the middle of it for WWE Monday Night Raw, and it is an electric place right now with this Antonio Brown news.
Well, so give me the general sense of what fans are thinking.
Yinzers here love the Ben Roethlisberger, love that he can sling the ball all over the yard, any yard. Very excited that Antonio Brown is gone. Very excited that Lev Bell is gone.
Really?
Yinzers think that they were bringing a lot of drama to the city. They think that the team is much more likable now, although they might not be as talented. And even though they only got a third and a fifth rounder for Antonio Brown, they still feel as if the Steelers have won because they can move past the Real Housewives of Pittsburgh situation that was happening inside the locker room. I have no idea if that's true or not because the Cleveland Browns seem to be getting better and better. I'll be excited to see what happens in the AFC North, but Yinzers everywhere are rejoicing for Antonio Brown being gone, and I'm not sure that's the right play. I'm not saying they're right at all, but they seem to be happy about it all being over and moving forward.
What do you think's happening in the locker room there in Pittsburgh? What do you think?
I don't know. Managing egos, I think you and I have talked about this. Managing egos is a huge part of the modern NFL. I mean, with the way social media is, everybody's their own brand, everybody's their own business. The ability to handle people who are great at things is a huge part of management these days. So I'm not sure if that'll scare away other superstars from coming to the beautiful city of Pittsburgh in the future. I'm just thinking that they're hoping that the young stars like Juju and whoever else comes in to fill in is just takes a different path. But I think right now, if you look at the Steelers organization, you'll be one that is historically great, a lot of wins. They got a passionate fan base, but here in the recent history has been surrounded by drama due to not being able to manage attitudes and personalities. And I think that's very obvious. And this next phase, next era, the Steelers are going to be a very impressive one. We'll see how many more years Ben Roethlisberger has throwing the ball around here in Pittsburgh.
Well, Pat McAfee, if, as I said at the beginning of this frenzy, as well as my show, the Rich Eisen Show, as it's named, and if Antonio Brown Instagram lived and tweeted his way into the spot that he wanted, how is your social media campaign to get you in the Monday Night Football seat going right now, Pat?
I think the campaign went very well. You know, it got you into a little bit of trouble with Kurt Warner, which I love. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it did. That's true. Right.
We trended for 10 hours, McAfee for Monday Night Football. Our intel, which means my agents told me that the day after we trended for 10 hours, there was an entire meeting at ESPN for the Monday Night Football position. My name was mentioned less than once. So I think the media campaign that we ran I think the campaign was a good one, but we're not results-oriented here. I don't think that we're going to get the results that we're looking for, but we definitely disrupted the whole situation, and you helped out immensely with that, so I'm thankful for you forever.
So you refer to it in the past tense. It's over just because ESPN held a meeting and you weren't mentioned once? Pat, come on.
What are we doing?
Come on. Right?
Listen, sometimes you got to get your ass out there and you find that dog, you know? Sometimes you got to do that, and we went for it. There was a lot of tweets. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of movement.
Right.
But there's literally nothing we can do if we're not in a meeting. I mean, that's a pretty important meeting to be a part of. If you're campaigning for a position that people control, and then the people that control that are having a meeting and they don't even mention your name, it's going to be tough to keep campaigning. But I'm all about getting back on the trail, sending some tweets out, some characters, some hashtags, and see if we can make Monday nights the most electric night of football again. But it's not my decision to be made. It's not yours either. We just got to sit back and see what happens.
Yeah, just and let the chips fall. Before I let you go, can we put up on the screen, my friends at the NFL Network, put up on the screen the top free agent punters, because punters are free agents too. Pat, Bradley Pinion, Pat O'Donnell, Ryan Allen, if you're one a left-legged variety, Jordan Berry, and Donnie Jones. What do you think of this class of free agents for punters, Pat?
Okay, so Donnie Bag of Bones Jones has enough swag to carry and fill an entire locker room. He's also a Super Bowl champion who came out of retirement. Big lefty, hits the ball high and far down the middle of the field, so you're depending upon what you want. He only has one ball, but it's a good ball. Ryan Allen has been in massive situations, so you know the butthole isn't going to pucker if you're in a big spot, which is a big deal for a specialist because there's a lot of pressure on you. Bradley Pinion has the ability to be a great punter. He hits the ball well. It goes far. I'm not sure he's got into a consistency that he's looking for. We'll see if that happens in a new spot. San Francisco, also a very windy place. Pat O'Donnell has become a completely different punter. He eliminates returners. He's not going to put up the huge numbers, but he's not going to give up many return yards as well. I'll be excited to see what he does. And then there's the Australian bomber, Jordan Berry, who has a cannon of a leg from down under, but I don't know if he's confident at the time being enough to step on the field and do it every single time. You get him a little bit of cash, maybe that builds the confidence. There's a lot of bombers out there ready to hit balls on fourth downs. I'll be excited to see where the chips fall if we're talking in Rich Eisen terms.
Thank you, Pat. Bless you, sir. You're a man who should not give up. I just heard some analysis that's an all four down analysis. They call Landon Collins a box safety. You are not a box broadcaster, sir, if I may say.
Wow, that makes me feel really good. I'm about to run through a brick wall here, maybe send out another tweet. Maybe I'll just go camp outside of Bristol and see if they'll take a call or a conversation with me. But, Rich, I can't thank you enough. I'm not sure if Chris is in there. Tell him I said what's up.
He's right there.
And thanks for having me back on NFL Network. The last time I was on here, the show got canceled, and I never got asked to come back. This is a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, brother.
Or the brand, Pat.
Okay, there's Pat McAfee bringing the frenzy.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.